Now you get to choose. Everybody's talking about the cloud, and SAP's industry-leading cloud solutions are a big opportunity for employees to provide value to their customers and help the world run better. You can also hear from the loudspeaker on the very current topic of cybersecurity. We can't be secure enough, or go on to another AP class to learn about a career in sales at SAP. It's a tough choice. Time to pick a direction. Are you the techie? Are you the schmoozer? Are you the schmecky or the toozer? Those are not real choices. Don't pay too close attention to me. And don't worry, you can watch whatever you missed later by returning for additional on-demand learning.
We thank you for joining our session, which is a career spotlight on cybersecurity. And you are in for a treat today because I have the pleasure to speak with cybersecurity true experts here. I have Karen, Brittany, and JB. And we'd love to kick off this session by asking each of you to kind of introduce yourself. What do you do here? What's your role at SAP, inside and outside, and how long you've been at SAP? So some real tough questions I'm going to start with. So Karen, would you like to go first?
Sure, yeah, thank you. My name is Karen Rollins. I am the CISO for SuccessFactors. So CISO is Chief Information Security Officer. I should get that right. I work with SuccessFactors line of business, but me and my team directly report up to SGS through Tim McKnight. I've been at SAP about 1.5 years, started in April 1st, 2019. So far it's been an amazing ride. SAP is a great company. I'm thrilled to be here and in the role that I'm in.
On our Founders Day. That's a great day. That's great. How about you? Brittany, would you like to start?
Sure. So I'm Brittany Barksdale. I lead security compliance at SAP SuccessFactors. I've been with SAP for about 2.5 years now, so joining in June of 2018. And basically in security compliance, we are responsible for ensuring that we have that we have the appropriate control and security measures in place to meet security and privacy related regulations and industry standards that are all in efforts to protect our customers' data.
Thank you. And JB, you're up.
Yes, hi, I'm JB. I'm relatively new to SAP. I joined SuccessFactors about a little over 3 months ago. I'm part of the operations and my role is between working with operations and engineering and Karen's team. And my primary role is to build a DevSecOps organization that traditionally looks at automating the security controls and streamlining our processes at the development and all the way to operations to make sure security is enforced.
And JB, I know you've only been here 3 months, so welcome.
Thank you.
You know, what attracted you to SAP? What do you like most about it?
From a technology perspective, you always want to. It is always fun to join an organization which is in the middle of a transformation. I know just about every organization you speak with, they are in some sort of transformation journey. So specifically here, it looks like we are at the verge of moving into public cloud. And having it right processes in place, being a part of something like that is quite an opportunity, and that attracted me.
And Brittany, you know, there's countless studies out there that say that cybersecurity is the hottest field to be in globally, not just in North America, besides healthcare. Could you kind of share with the audience on why cybersecurity is the hottest field?
Absolutely. So cyber is and has been a hot topic for quite some time now, and for really good reason. I think we're finally starting to round the corner on cyber actually being considered at the forefront of initiatives. I think we all understand how important it is to protect our data, both just from a personal standpoint and also our customers' data. We hear breaches way, way, way too often. So I think finally the focus is there, and cyber is being included as, again, a forefront consideration rather than an auxiliary consideration once a product has been fully baked.
Thank you. It's a great answer. And Karen, you're a leader in this space. So could you talk to me about the type of talent that you're looking for, the attributes, the skills? What does it take to have a role in cybersecurity at SAP?
Yeah, and to Brittany's point, now that it's being considered kind of further up the process in a lot of different areas, when I first started, it was more of an afterthought. And a lot of times I was in a customer facing role and people just didn't want to think about security until it was too late, and then they'd find out that, wait, we don't have security and an incident has happened. So because of that, it's a fairly new industry, and there's not a lot of people that have the skill sets that we're looking for in addition to security, because it's always a multiple level of skill sets. So like in Brittany's area, they need to know compliance and auditing and security. In JB's area, operations and security. So it's that and security part that's a little difficult to fill. We do see a lot of great talent coming out of universities, as now over the last probably 5 years, there's more focus on cybersecurity majors, and so we're getting that talent directly out of college. But then there's many people that have been in the industry for years and kind of morphed into a security role based on being in technology or being involved in the areas, and as security has come up, then they've acquired that knowledge. So I think, to me, the security piece is more important because that is the primary focus, and some of the rest of it can be taught. So any kind of security skill sets that show up during an interview or on a resume would be what I would be looking for primarily.
Are there any transferable skills that you think resonate in high priority?
I think it depends on the role, because
Sure.
you can also teach the security part, but in order to have that focus, that to me, that's primary. So, understanding how security integrates into the particular role that you're applying for, and what other skills you can bring that you could transfer is paramount.
And JB, excuse me, where do you see cybersecurity going in the coming years?
So we are seeing an evolution on everybody is wanting to do some sort of digital transformation, and we are finding out the public cloud might be the best optimal way given the availability they provide, and also it helps us focus only on our business problem. We can focus on our product, making it better for the customer, and adding feature set and provide more capability for them, and not have to worry about how we set up the data centers and how we set up the the operations all across the globe. But it comes with a caveat: the right mindset, the automation as a thought process, how we would deploy it as a thought process, how we would what Karen pointed out, how we would look at the security all the way from development, so that we're not looking at all the way at the end and trying to figure out what kind of controls we put in the end. And then what Brittany does with us on compliance side of things, on what would we need to run operations in different geographic area, plus its different business sectors. All of that combined, the thought process in the beginning, I think this will continue to evolve in some sort of automated fashion. And the better we do at that, in a procedurizing it and making it as a part of our security, as a part of our mindset, not just from security group, from everybody else, that's what's going to make a change as we continue this journey.
And Brittany, what's like a typical day like for you?
So in security compliance, I feel like it doesn't matter the time of year. We're always in some form of an audit or a certification. So whether that audit be internal or external or customer based. So we are constantly working with our control owners to understand the current state of how their controls are performing, so that it's communicated properly back to those auditors. Again, whether it's internal auditors, external auditors, or auditors that our customers send. We are always answering some form of a customer inquiry around our security posture. So whether it be on, implementation questions around security, or, on previous reports or certifications that the customer has reviewed. And all in all, we're just always, we're trying to be proactive in making sure that we're meeting the right compliance needs. So we're always doing some form of research on the various security and privacy impending regulations that may not be executed now, but what we're looking towards. And so we don't want to be too behind the curve. And so just always looking on the outlook of what compliance will look like in the next 5 years or so.
Yeah. And Karen, like, has this pandemic impacted your thinking in this area or how we've approached different things from your perspective?
That's a really good question. I think the workforce as a whole has had to become more globally focused and also more adaptable, right? So, I mean, a lot of times you'd be in an office building and you'd be on a conference call and the person would be in another room and still everything is on, as virtual. So I think that part of it is just adapting to being able to communicate clearly, being able to interact clearly, without having to have that face-to-face. That's kind of the biggest transition. I think a lot of companies are facing that as we went to off-site work. But I think that from a security perspective, making sure that all of the security initiatives are incorporated as we move through the pandemic, because there's a lot of additional things that we have to take care of from a cybersecurity and a physical security perspective as well. So we've had a lot of focus on security at SAP this year, which is kind of given us great progress, and it's an exciting area to be in right now because we have a lot of executive focus and a lot of good support to make everything more secure.
That's great. Great. JB, can you kind of explain like the culture here at SAP, or was there any facts or that might have surprised you when you joined that you didn't know that you wish more people knew about SAP as a whole and in your space?
Two things. I think any place is exciting with the talent you have. When you look around and look at from engineering to operations to security, everybody, the level of talent we have, it is quite impressive. I get amazed, and I'm still meeting new people every day, and sometimes you got to take them back with how far they've thought about, even though they are not really part of security, but how much they think about the thought process that goes into just any level of designing. I think that is quite impressive. And two, I have to admit the collaboration between engineering operations and Karen's team and global security, it has been very valuable. Again, it's not. Sometimes you see when you are siloed in a certain way, you expect the collaboration to not be there, but sometimes you almost forget, who's part of what team, because the ultimate goal is to how we protect customer data and make the experience better, not having security being a hindering piece in the whole experience. So those are the two pieces I didn't know. I knew that we were heading into cloud journey, and that was exciting to me from technology perspective. But those two things, I'm quite. I tell them to everybody that I even interview now and speak with, that you'll be surprised with the level of talent we have.
Yeah, and the impact that you can make at the company, to your point.
Absolutely.
Exactly. The reach and scale is a great one.
I think the collaboration has been huge for me. We had a project earlier this year where we needed some additional resources, and the amount of other teams that stepped up and put their hands up to jump in and help was incredible all across the company. So it was just literally, hey, we need some help over here, and we got so many people volunteering to help us out, and that was really refreshing and exciting. And again, to JB's point, it was evidence of the culture at SAP, and the fact that even though we feel like we're sometimes in silos, we're really not. Everyone does jump in and help when needed.
Build bridges.
Right.
Brittany, what excites you about SAP and cybersecurity?
What excites me is there's a huge focus among management to really start to expand our diversity. There are statistics that we're looking at pretty regularly to look at women in leadership, to look at minorities in leadership. So it's not something that is falling by the wayside whatsoever. And that's really important to me as a minority woman. So it's really exciting that cyber is focused on that in SAP, and also just really putting the customer first. I mean, there are so many things that we hear about in our all hands where it's just customer first, customer first. We're not saying that we've never been customer focused, we certainly have, but there's just so many initiatives that are going on that it's very, very clear from leadership on down that customers truly are number one. And so being part of a company where that is the mission is, you see exactly what you're doing, what your input is doing and contributing to that outward customer focus. So it's pretty nice to see that.
That's good. That's good. Karen, can you share some things that you're looking forward to in the next few months? Any kind of exciting rollouts or plans that you can share, or?
There's been a lot of focus this year on product security, making sure that there are common capabilities across products at SAP. So each one of the different lines of business have been focused on ensuring that we have certain capabilities when it comes to security, and then also across the LOBs that we're all aligned as to what those capabilities are. So that's been a big project this year where we've all been focused on making sure that we're all aligned and we have the right product security focus. And then again, there's been a lot of transformation coming from the SAP Global Security team, just enhancing, improving security, defensive visibility, improving tools, automation, building out teams that just give us a much better, stronger security influence across the company.
Thank you. And JP, if someone wants to start a career in cybersecurity, is there any tips or advice you would give to someone?
Be curious, be excited. I've been doing this for long enough, and every now and then you read about new attack, you read about the new way or new technology, and it just takes you back. That what attracted me to this profession to begin with. I think just be curious really helps. And in operations, we tend to look for folks who understand what it takes to run operations at a global level, and then have the mindset to start influence security on a small process base on a regular basis. That actually makes a huge impact. But the mindset is critical to us.
That's awesome. I'd love to ask you guys, is there any questions that I didn't ask you today that you think I should ask, especially for our audience that should know about a career in cybersecurity at SAP?
I think it's definitely worth the investment for anyone who maybe has not thought about cybersecurity, that there are so many different aspects of security that they may not be aware of. People think of cybersecurity, they think of just hackers or bad actors or that type of in the news type of a thing, right? And it's just so much more than that. There are many, many different facets of security where you can utilize the skills you already have, or maybe some skills that you're looking to get trained in, but then also align that with security as well.
That's great. Anything to add, JB or Brittany?
No, I agree with what Karen said. Most of us tend to, or if you speak with new young folks out of the university, they think hacking is basically the primary part, because obviously it's quite glamorous and it gets a lot more focus. But the work that goes behind that on a defense side is far more important. It's rewarding, it's challenging, and it keeps you on your toes. And most of our time is spent on that, just to make sure those news doesn't say our name anywhere.
And last question, you guys will be off the hook, so thank you again so much. But in 3 words or less, tell us what SAP means to you. Lightning round.
3 words.
Or less. Could be 1 word.
Yeah, collaboration. And communication. One of the things I really appreciate is the executive leadership effort to communicate and let everyone know what the plan is and what the journey is going to be like and what the direction is. And we've seen that evidenced in the last week or so with our change in direction and strategy from a company. And so having them be that responsive to external news, this is way more than 3 words, but they immediately jumped on a call with everyone and explained so that nobody was worried, everybody has the same information, which I really appreciate. So communication from the executive leadership for me.
I'll go with transparent. This is also kind of lending to what Karen was just stating, but executive leadership has made it a mission to be transparent not only to our customers on certain security topics, but also to us internally. So transparent is definitely the word for 2020.
Yeah, you said 3. I'll say 1 so far. I think that has been quite fascinating is execution. We tend to plan, but we also have a pulse on execution. And sometimes in large places you get lost in planning, and it will happen. What I'm really fascinated about is the level of execution we see from every side on just top of planning, and I'm really excited about that.
Well, thank you guys so much. If I had to say it, it would be shaping tomorrow together, to your point, which kind of combines all of it in a way about enabling the future and SAP's commitment. And at the end of the day, it starts and ends with our people, and having amazing talent like yourselves and even more, which we hope to attract. It's so important. And thank you so much for giving kind of a behind the scenes look of what cybersecurity is all about, and we hope that we've shown you the way. So but there's lots of positions open, and we'd love for you to apply and consider a role. So thank you again so much for your guys' time. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Robin.
Thank you.
Robin.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye.